AK-47. Did you see my promo that I sent you? Got Laura in the house. It says nobody's watching, but I'm seeing a bunch of people in here already. I don't know about everybody else, but TikTok's been acting weird. You may have gotten mentioned in the promo, AK-47. All right. I'm not sure how many people. It shows 2 on your end. Okay. It shows 0 on my end. Anton, how you doing? Keep pressing that like button and let's get on the For You page. And supposed to have one guest coming in tonight from the Philippines. People are here. Okay. Yeah, it's not showing anybody on my end. Oh, now it just jumped up to 5, 6. All right. Yeah. Supposed to have a guest coming in at some point. She's a little nervous about speaking. She's from the Philippines, so I remind everybody, be kind. It's not easy for some people to come on and tell their stories. And then especially if she comes in, English is not her first language. So, but if she comes in, she has a story about a creature that I'd never heard of before. And it sounds terrifying. If you were here last night, Boone's in the house. Welcome in, Boone. We had some pretty good guests last night. Moody. And speak of the devil, Moody walks in. Just talking about you, buddy. We had Copenhagen and Chad came in last night to tell their stories. A couple Bigfoot stories. And Moody had some terrifying events going on at the military base. Yeah. So if you have a paranormal encounter, whether it's ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, I want to hear about it. Just go. We've got a guest request. Let's see who this is. Let's see. We are connecting with April. April, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Do you have a paranormal encounter you would like to share?
I would like to share my most recent encounter, which happened about, it was last year. Yeah, it was all throughout last year. And the year before, actually. So 2023, 2020, you know what? No, it was only during 2023. Yeah. So this was starting maybe around February, March, April, sometime after April. Is when my current boyfriend, he moved from California to meet me in Texas. And he's actually the one who started noticing some peculiar activity and pointed it out to me. So it's got a witness. So my boyfriend has a witness. But yeah, so this isn't even my first experiences, but I want to talk about this one because it is funny. It's really strange in particular. So one of the things he told me, we're a new couple. He told me, "Is there a man living in your house? And not your house? Is there a man living here?" Because at the time we were living in my camper. And I thought he was joking. I was like, I was thinking in my head, well, I mean, right? Obviously, you're the man in my home. But I thought he was joking, and no, he was dead serious. But I thought he was joking for a few months because he kept talking about the toilet seat, me leaving the toilet seat up. And I thought he was just doing it, just to pull my leg and do this prank on me or something. But No, so he would keep pointing out the toilet seat up and asking me questions about it. Like, and I would tell him I really don't pick up the toilet seat only when I'm cleaning the toilet, you know. But then even then, like I put it back down. I have no reason to leave it up. I'm a woman. You're a man. You're the guy. You know, maybe you know. I would tell him. I would ask him too sometimes. Like, did you leave it up? Because I would see it up, and it's just like, I don't know. He told me. He's like, I grew up with women, you know, my sister and my mom, whatever, and you know, I have that respect of leaving it down, whatever. He leaves it up, you know. Currently today, he leaves it up sometimes, but or well, most of the time. But I know for a fact that during those few months, it was not him, and I'll tell you why. So, you know, I was just like going along with it. I was like, okay, you're not the one doing it. If there's like, you know, a ghost in here or whatever, then let's go like a scientific approach and document it. So the way we started doing that was just writing on. So my closet was just two sliding glass mirrors, and so we had actually he brought some expo markers. What do you call them? Dry erase markers. So we were writing on the mirror date and time that we would see the toilet seat up, knowing that it wasn't me or him. So, I want to put emphasis on this also. So, like during the nighttime, he doesn't really go to the restroom, but I do. At least maybe twice, I'll get up and go to the restroom. And if you know how like small a camper is, this was like 32 feet. So it's like the bedroom, literally next wall is the toilet by itself. And so, you know, I'll get up and go to the restroom. I don't even know what time it is. I don't check the time. But I would see the seat up. And so I would question, did he go to bed and leave it up before bed? You know, and then, you know, I would have to be thinking to myself during the night sometimes, like, did he get up at any point that I didn't hear? But it's like, I would know if he got out of bed and went to the restroom. We got a puppy. He wakes up as soon as any of us wakes up too. But yeah, so it's like I don't want to go too deep into like, you know, trying to figure out if he gets out of bed or not. I know if he gets out of bed or goes to the restroom. Yeah, so we were just right. It was just random dates, random times during the night, during the day that, you know, either one of us would see it up, and we would just tell each other, write down the date, write down the time. We filled the mirror from the top to the bottom. Yeah, just documenting. So there was some other weird stuff going on besides finding the toilet seat up. So we had like, well, I had a king size bed, and we would watch movies on his laptop or TV shows, whatever. And I don't remember exactly when, but I started hearing a voice, and it was imitating him. It sounded exactly like his voice, but like, once again, I thought he was just joking around. Like, because he would actually do this sometimes, you know, if you're just playing with your partner and just like mumbling. He does this with his mom too, just like making up language, and just like she'll just be like, what do you say, what do you say? So I thought that's what he was doing to me, and I would look at him. I was like, what did you say? And he's like, I didn't say nothing. And so this would happen multiple times. I was just like, you're joking. I start laughing about it. Like, I'm trying to catch him speaking. I'm trying to catch his mouth moving as we're watching TV. But he just, every time he'll tell me, like, no, I didn't say nothing. And this is, we're just like 2 feet away from each other. And there's this voice speaking in between us in his voice. But I can never make out what it's saying. It's just like mumbling, you know. And actually, you know, it wasn't quite his voice. It's like it was so close, but not quite his voice. And then one day it said my name. My name's April. It said April. And I was like, what the heck? I know that wasn't him. Like, how many times have I tried to catch his mouth moving and like in my peripherals, you know? No, so it was a voice that it was, I guess, you know, from what I've learned today, it was probably a mimic or a poltergeist moving the toilet seat. Um, One day I was showering, and I have like this textured glass door, and I thought I saw our puppy walk from the restroom area back to the bedroom area. And I was thinking about what I just saw, because it was like a black shadow, and my dog is like black gray, really small to the ground, low to the ground, right? And I thought I saw him go back to the bedroom, but I was like, wait a second. I would have seen like a waggly tail. I would have seen like some dog-like movement, but this was like it was more like a flat, dark shadow on the ground that slowly glided to the bedroom. I was just like, no, that's not dog movement. I'm inside the shower. I can see blurry, but it was just like, that's not dog movement. It didn't have a figure. It was just flat on the ground. That's not a dog. Um, so yeah, there was that, the shadow, the voice, the toilet seat. More with the toilet seat though, because it, whatever it was, it left two weirdly twisted pieces of toilet paper, one on top of the other, like an X. And I took pictures of that. So like, I've told this story before, and people were like, "You should have recorded it. You should have recorded it." Well, you know what? I had financial priorities. I had other priorities in my life. I felt weird about recording a toilet. Is my toilet. I need to use. We both need to use the restroom every so often. Why am I going to stick a camera pointing at our toilet 24 hours just to capture But so here's the thing. Here's how I knew it was real. Because one night, I guess it was just like the evening, I was standing in front of the restroom and I saw the seat was up. So I told my boyfriend, I was like, okay, write down the date, write down the time. I turned back and the seat is down. There's only two people living in the camper. But I saw the seat up and then I saw it down. And I was standing in front of the door the whole time. So I was just like, okay. Now I know for sure that my boyfriend is not just like making things up. I'm not going crazy. Like there's something in here. There's something living in here. But yeah, so like to this day, like he leaves the seat up, and I have those memories, just like, okay, it was my boyfriend this time. It was my boy. Like I feel this fear that it follows me. But no, I haven't seen it like up on its own, or he hasn't made those comments anymore. So it's just like, okay, I guess it's not following me or whatever.
That's good.
Yes, it was.
Um,
Yeah, that was really weird experience.
so I'm going to say this is the first time I've heard of a haunted toilet.
Yeah, but the whole camper,
The
I
question
guess.
is, you, do you know who owned the camper before you?
You know what? I got it off of Facebook Marketplace. I went in person to meet the people who were selling it. I know more or less like where they live, but I can't recall their address. But what they told me was that their father, or I guess the lady or the man, I don't know whose father it was living in it, and they just, I don't know, I forget why they wanted to get rid of it.
You
I
probably had a
should
haunted toilet.
No, I don't know if somebody died in there, but so I bought a used camper and I didn't know, but there was flood damage like all around. So, eventually my roof was leaking on rainy days. Um, and so yeah, I just needed a place to live. And so that's what I got at the time. It was a waste of money, but whatever. It sheltered me for several months, and I could see the water damage, like on the lower portion of like it's not really wood. It's like what is it called? Compressed wood, I guess. A lot of people have heart attacks on toilet. Yeah, I don't know what happened in this camper. I thought maybe it was like residual energy from my past my relationship that I just got over because it was a really unhealthy relationship. And I was like, maybe my new partner brought something over. I don't know, from California. No, I don't want to blame him. But
So there was a question asked. Um,
oh,
where is the camper parked, or was it parked?
so it was in their driveway, like in their back driveway, and then we moved it to the neighboring city where I lived at the time, in like a little mobile home community. So I was just living in the little mobile home community. I had a really small lot space, just not really anything extending beyond like 5 feet around the camper.
Right.
Um, I had my parking space. Yeah, so I don't know.
So it wasn't like you moved it onto ancient Indian burial ground or something, like out in the middle of the
No,
woods.
no, yeah, no, I was in a very small, tight, close community. My neighbors were just feet away because they had their campers too. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know what, um, I don't know why, just it happened.
Yeah. I mean,
Aside from
sometimes that's the
my,
way these things are. You're not going to find a reason for it.
Yeah, and I've thought about contacting the previous owners, like if they have any further information to give me, but it's just like it's been so long already. Um, I've already dealt with it. I already sold it. I don't know if the person who bought it is dealing with anything similar. Um, but yeah, it's just like, well, that happened. It's already gone. I kind of don't feel like digging, for more information. I just accept it for what it was. It was I don't know. I don't know what to name it, but yeah, that's what it was.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about your haunted toilet. That's
I always feel weird talking about it, but yeah, I do love sharing it because it is a weird experience that me and my partner had.
right. And
Yeah,
it always helps when you have, another witness to the paranormal, so you don't feel alone with it.
exactly. I probably wouldn't have ever talked about it if it all happened, me living by myself there.
Right. Well, April, I appreciate you coming in, and hope you enjoy the show and stay in and watch for a little while.
Oh yeah, I want to hear more people's stories. So I don't feel so weird.
No, we get all kinds of people come in, tell all different kinds of stories. So, but I will say this is the first haunted toilet.
All right, well, let's have someone else tell their stories. Maybe someone's got something just as weird as mine.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I saw Rose come in. I want to make sure she is still here. Nope. Daggone it. Missed her. Keep an eye out, mods, for that person I sent you earlier. She did pop in for a second, so hopefully she comes back in. Um, so yeah, we've had a haunted toilet already today. Sarah, how you doing? Sarah, do you have a paranormal story you would like to share? Or anybody? AK-47. I think I asked you when you said you didn't have anything, but Sarah, I'm pretty sure you do. Would you like to come in and talk, Sarah? Sarah is connecting. And
Hi,
here's
can you guys hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All
Sarah, where
right.
where are you from?
I'm from Michigan. Good old
Michigan.
Michigan. Yep.
That,
Where
that
you
state
get
up north.
what's that?
That state up north.
Yeah, the Mitten State. We're the best. Where are
Well,
you from?
I'm from Indiana, but originally from Ohio.
Okay, cool. So neighboring.
Yes.
Go Wolverines.
Buckeyes.
Woo, boo. I'm just kidding. So my paranormal thing, I've had a couple. I tend to think that spirits like and I know this sounds weird. I always said that to my mom that I find that like spirits like attach to me or follow me. I feel like it's people that I've had in my life that have passed. But my one of my best friends from high school, he overdosed on drugs 2 years ago, and we were in my daughter's room, and I was really mad at him, and me and my daughter were playing music, and I told him if he could send me a sign. And my daughter had a big old spider plant in the middle of her dresser, and nothing was by it, and that spider plant flew off her dresser, and the dirt went everywhere into her closet, and she flipped out. She's like, "What the heck happened?" I said, "Well, I told Zach to send me a sign." And the dirt was everywhere, and it just was baffling. I mean, I was happy about it because I knew that that was him, but it was crazy.
So like so it was just sitting there and then it flew.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it just like it was like somebody shoved it. Like just somebody shoved it off the dresser. Yeah. Nothing was by it, nothing at all, just crazy.
wow.
Yeah. And then another thing, like I love to shop antique shops, and I go to estate sales all the time because I love vintage stuff. And I picked up these really old pictures of a little boy and a little girl. And you can tell they're vintage. They have the gold frames and the velvet on the back, and they're super old and tarnished. I hung them on my wall, and then I got some vintage keys and a vintage, what's it called? A sun catcher thing, and some books. And my kids were sleeping, got them up for school. And then my kitchen is not like by the basement. And there was a coffee mug sitting upside down in front of my basement door. And I'm like, okay, how the heck did that get there? I'm like, everyone was sleeping. And so I was freaked out. And then the kids started freaking out. They're like, who did that? And I'm like, I literally just hung those pictures the night before. So we're getting them ready for school. And then all of a sudden I hear footsteps upstairs, and we're the only ones in the house at all. And so I almost told them to get out of the house because I was so scared. Like, somebody's in the house. But I swear, like, there's spirits in those that attach themselves to those pictures. Because even like every night we have a light above our stairwell. When I walk up and walk under that light, it flickers. And then I swear, unless my kids have something against me, my stuff will just like move, like it's like hide and seek. And I'm like, who moved my thing? And they're like, no one did. You're crazy.
So you still have these pictures?
I do, because I don't think it's like anything bad or like possession. I just think that they're souls. Like, I don't know if they're kids or what, but I swear I can still hear footsteps once in a while up here, even especially when I'm by myself. And I tried looking into the history of this house. There's nothing that I can find. So I don't think it's that.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
What the house is it?
Yeah, I think our house was built in the 70s, so there's nothing really that I could find. And it was one lady that lived here, but her husband did pass. I'm like, maybe he passed in the home. I don't know. She didn't tell me that.
Yeah. But whoever it is or whatever it is, it does sound like it's just pulling little pranks like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, and it still could be my friend, or I was thinking from those objects, but it's ever since my friend passed. But
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, so just a couple paranormal things.
I do like that. I like the haunted objects. I think that it always gives a little extra creep factor, because just bought these things because you like the way they look, and then all of a sudden now you're having plants fly across your house.
I know, and I even told all my coworkers, and they're like, "Get those pictures out of your house or burn them down." I'm like, no, I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, maybe you can get some cameras and point them at those and see if maybe they move.
Yeah, that would be really cool too. Yep. Yep.
So is that all you have then?
The only other thing I can think of, and it was when I was pregnant for my daughter. I lived in a tiny little apartment, and me and my boyfriend at the time, he's now my husband, I would have these terrors, but I don't know if it's just because I was pregnant. And we actually moved out of the apartment because I would wake up screaming, and I always saw like a black, like shadow man. And the one night I woke him up, and he can attest to this. I freaked the hell out of him. I said, "Somebody's in the room. Like they're on the ceiling." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then one night, it was in the summer, we had the window open, and I woke him up, and I said, "Somebody's crawling in the window." And I really freaked him out then. But it was just this shadow person, but it could have been hormones, or it could have been the place was haunted. We moved out.
I don't know if you were listening last night, but Moody had a similar story of a black shadow thing reaching through the air vent.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's kind of similar. Mine was on the ceiling, came through the window, and standing at the bed 3 times. And that's when I told them, we moved in with my mom at the time, and I'm like, I don't know if it's real or what. And then, oh, the weird thing is when we lived there, we never could smell anything in there. And then when we were moving out, it was a duplex. The lady said, I can't believe you guys could live there. Could you smell that? And I'm like, smell what? And she's like, it smells like pickles. And then I know, it was so weird. And as soon as we like opened up the door and started moving out, we could smell this weird, just it was the weirdest smell. It was just so strange.
So Moody, he's in here. He was the one that had the encounter last night. When
Yeah.
you saw the figure, was the room completely dark?
It was, yeah.
And
Yep.
this thing was darker than the dark.
It was darker than the dark. Yep.
That's exactly how Moody described that last night. So, yeah,
It freaked me out. Yeah.
maybe you were seeing something. It wasn't just pregnancy hormones, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So
weird.
my mom thinks that like souls just seeked me out. So
Little whisperer.
I must be.
Well, Sarah, I appreciate you coming in tonight. Did
No
you have
problem. What's that?
Did you have anything else?
Nope, that's all I have. Thank you
Okay.
for listening.
Well, absolutely. If anything else happens, come back.
Okay, I sure will. Hopefully nothing else does. All right. Bye.
Thank you, Summer. It's all natural. It's all natural. All naturally born. Wow. Started off with two good ones right off the bat. We're looking for anybody that has a paranormal story they'd like to share. We're waiting on Rose to come back. I really wish she would have stuck around. She is not in here. No, it was not just you, Moody. We're hearing all kinds of similar things to what you had, actually. I've heard other people, not on my live, but maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah, I mean, you hear about these black shadow figures. That's commonly reported. So, who else we got in here? Mrs. F, would you like to tell a paranormal story? AK-47, is your daughter available to tell her story? Or can you tell the story? Do you know it well enough? Absolutely. Let me know. I would love to hear it. We've been having kind of like themes, it seems like. Now we are on shadow people right now, which is fine with me. Anything paranormal. And I do appreciate the shares. If you're not following me yet, please do. We do this every Sunday and Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And make sure if you know anybody that might have a story they'd like to share, have them come in and be glad to hear it. I really was hoping Rose would stick around. Thank you for the heart me. Joining my team. I appreciate it. Number 7, my number 7 member. We're growing. We noticed last night, I was looking at the analytics from my lives, and the average viewers is going up with each live. So I know sometimes you look up here and you see there's 5 or 6 people, but usually we're getting between 600 and 700 people coming in every night. So that's just how many's in here at one time. So I really do think it's getting a little more popular. Susan, how you doing? Susan, do you have a paranormal story you would like to share with all 6 million people watching? Check here. Did you guys see what we have in here? My phone is being silly. Mindy, do you have a story you'd like to share? Notice you've been in here a while watching, and it can't just be because of my luscious locks. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. There's Rose. Rose, are you ready to come in and tell your story? Send her an invite. See if she accepts, hopefully. Teddy, how you doing? Welcome back to my live. Yeah. I'm moving up in the world. Got me a new background, not just sitting on my couch. I'll make it look a little more professional, because that's me, Mr. Professional. You can tell by the mullet. Nothing says professional like a mullet from China. What happened to Rose? She was just in here. She is not in here again. She must be nervous. And I understand. I do. I'm not being silly here. I think it's not easy to come in and tell your story. And with Rose, she's very nervous about English not being her first language. So, Teddy, you got a paranormal story you'd like to tell? I think that was a random. Yeah, that was a random because, man, it says 7 people up here. But when I go down here to where I can add guests, it's only showing like 4. AK-47, are you still in here? Thank you for sharing out the live, AK-47. See, it's not even showing you as a potential guest down here. TikTok's being weird. Really weird. So if anybody has a paranormal story they'd like to share, go ahead and send me a request or make a comment. AI goes, yeah, you must be. I'm not seeing you on my guest list here. AK-47?
I only see 4.
Yeah, it's showing 4 people that I can invite to go live. Yeah. It's probably it's probably because they're intimidated by the mullet. TikTok just says we can't have that much lusciousness getting out in the world. My wife had dental procedure done today, so she's really trying not to laugh right now. So I'm gonna give her a break. I'm gonna give her a break tonight. I'm not going to try to make her snort. Well, I work on it. I get that Aussie mane and tail, and I buy it by the 55-gallon drum, and I only trust Suave Peaches and Cream. Too. It just makes it shiny, and Becca loves it when we get the deliveries. They come in by pallet, and she has to help me lift them because I threw my back out throwing that keg of PBR in the booty snatcher. So it's not easy for me to lift a 55-gallon drum of Suave. Okay, I gotta stop making my wife laugh because you better go change. Laura, you gotta go change. We can wait on you. It's fine. I got all night. Actually, I don't. I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. But obviously, this live is going off the rails, and that's fine. That's fine. There's no rules here other than this right here. That one right there. It's the only rule to my life, and we try to keep it PG. Let me do it this way. Let me try clicking up here and see what it says. Okay, so that says okay. I sent there. Rose is back. Rose, would you like to come in? There we go. We're connecting.
Hi,
Rose,
John. Hello.
hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. So,
Okay.
what time is it in the Philippines?
What is it?
What time is it?
It's 8:35 a.m.
So you're just waking up. Waking up.
Yeah. No, I already wake up around 4 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So Rose, you have we talked a little bit. You have probably the most terrifying creature I've ever heard of that you want to talk about tonight in the
Yeah.
Tiktik.
Yeah. That was Tiktik. It was a creature like it's a human, and every full moon they change, like skinwalker or something, but it will be like half of the body were flying, and they like to go on houses with pregnant women, because they have the long tongue that we're gonna sit the baby on the stomach of the mother, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I read too. It was that this creature it basically separates its lower body from its upper body.
Yeah.
It attacks pregnant women, and I also read newlywed men. Is that correct?
What is it?
Like men who've just gotten married.
A man
Is that-
just got married?
Is that part of the legend?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I'm just going off Wikipedia. That's sometimes wrong.
Well, sometimes it's just like a story, but I have an experience on it, so I believe on it.
So you've actually seen this thing?
I did see the shadow, but I didn't really see the whole. I seen the shadow of it because my grandma was like a midwife, but it was back long time ago. It was she go to the houses every time they need every time somebody needs help, then sometimes it's like 3 a.m, 12 something, 1 a.m, in the midnight. They're gonna go to my grandma's house to help them, to because the mother will gonna give birth. So that time we don't have any electricity on this city. Actually, I live in Quezon province. It's a province. Then don't have any houses, like one, two, or four houses, but it's still far from my grandma's house. So that
Okay.
time my grandma have nobody with her when she need to go to that house. So I go with her. So it will be like 1 a.m or something. You know the tail of the, what you call it? We call it pagi. I don't know what is it in English. A stingray. She used
Stingray?
that. Yeah, stingray. Those tail, they dry it. Then that is the one that she using every time she go at midnight, because this Tik really likes to follow her. Every time somebody needs her. So this Tik know if my grandma was going on these houses, because they really like to those those babies inside the tummy of the mom. So it's really horrible to see that.
So this thing follows your grandmother.
Yeah, they really. I think they have a very good sense of smell.
Okay.
Yeah, but my grandma said we have one neighbor before that they change into Tiktik, but she's not from here. She was living in, I think, in Capiz, which is Capiz is a. They said there's a lot of creature on that place.
Now, you also were talking about. I'm not sure if I'm going to say it right. The Kapre.
Yeah, the Kapre. Kapre, it's like um, it's a
Like,
tall. It's a very tall, like a coconut tree. Then it's very hairy. Then it's all black. All black. All you can see is. But this Kapre is not really it's not really bad creature. Sometimes he really help humans, like what I told you on the chat. He likes
right.
to help. My cousin was fisherman. Then every time they go to the seaside, he had a boat, but he don't have anyone to help him to pull up the boat on the beside the sea. So it's like when he pushing the boat, it's like it's not very heavy. So he's already shouting and screaming because you see the Capre was helping him.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I've read about this Kapre is basically it's kind of like a guardian of the forest,
Yeah.
and
It's like,
it
but
basically
I
is
believe,
gentle.
uh-huh. I still believe on it because on this town that I live, they still seeing those Capre. He goes to the houses, every houses of the neighbors because they cut the tree where he lives. So
And did you say you saw one?
I did when I was like around. I think I was just 13 or 14 years old when I was sleeping that time in my grandma's house. It's because the back old days the window was just like a wood. Then they have gap on the top, so it's like wood and what you call it? It's just like a wood the window, no cover because we don't have any much house because it's safe. So for us, it's safe before. It was midnight. I was trying to go to the bathroom. Then when I was sitting down on the bed, I was just looking on the window. Someone is, it's become, the eye was red. Then it's just like he's smiling. Then I will be like screaming on my grandma and running. Then my grandma told me, "Oh, maybe that was the Capre. Maybe he likes you. This he likes me. Yeah, you just go and look on those on that window." I was just really scared that time.
Wow.
So every afternoon, I really don't go out, especially
Right.
nighttime. I really don't go out.
Rose, those are some
Yeah, but he's not bad.
right. That's what I'm reading.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the guardian of the forest and very helpful. Just kind of sits them.
Yeah. It didn't. Yeah, it didn't hurt any people.
That's good. Wow.
It's just helping.
Well,
But the tick is really
really appreciate you coming
scary.
in. I know you were a little nervous about speaking, but I think you did wonderful.
Yeah.
Your English is a lot better than what you gave yourself credit for.
Oh, I was just maybe shy
Yeah,
just because my English is not very fluent.
I think you're doing great. Yeah. Well, Rose, I
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you.
you coming in, taking time over there at 10.
Mm-hmm.
whatever, 8:45.
Yeah, it's already 8:45.
Well, Rose, thank you so much for
Thank you.
talking about the Tiktik and the Kapre. Two very
Yeah, thank you, John.
there were things I'd never heard of before until I talked to you. So I like learning about these new things.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So yeah, I did. After I was talking to Rose, I did a little research. I guess you'd call it. All I did was look this Tiktik up, and um, you know, what I read was a lot more graphic than what Rose said. Yes, Tiktik, just like that, Moody. Some of the lore behind it sounds like there's some influence of Europeans. Excuse me, because it's basically they describe it kind of like a vampire, but it feeds on unborn children in the womb, and it uses a, a tongue kind of like what a fly has, and it's believed over there that when children are born with birth defects, that it's because of the Tiktik started feeding but didn't finish. So yeah, I would look it up. I mean, she obviously said her grandmother has seen this thing, and if that's the case, this thing has to be one of the most terrifying things I've ever read about or heard of. Lindsay's in the chat. All right, we got Sky wanting to come in. I know. Sent the invitation. We'll see here.
Hello. Hi. Yeah,
We may have met once or twice.
maybe.
I may have been intimate with your mother.
Maybe.
These days, your mom is going to snort on my live, and it's going to be the greatest day of my life. I'm going to make her laugh until she snorts. Okay. So you want to talk about the house that grew up in?
Yeah, well, both houses. So my parents are divorced, obviously.
I hope so. Because
yeah.
I'm married to one of them.
Well, I don't think that they never got married, but you know.
Right.
So I went for my entire childhood going back and forth from mom's and dad's house. Mom's house, we lived in a really small town. And I believe you've been to this house before. There was always like, when no one was upstairs, a lot of like footsteps. And we would hear people like walking around upstairs all the time. And no one was up there. And I was always like really scared to sleep up there. Because I always got like wigged out just by being up there. And there's also like this weird tiny closet thing in what we used as the playroom. And I remember when we first moved in, my brother and I got stuck in there for about an hour because my mom could not hear us yelling from inside the closet.
So what it was she actually locked the door on you.
Yeah.
Be quiet and just leave the kids in there.
I remember a lot more from my dad's house. So my dad lived in, it has burnt down, unfortunately. But it was this gorgeous it was like 100 years old. And then the sunroom was like 90-ish. Because they had added the sunroom on later. At this house, there was a period of time where my dad didn't live in it, but I would get dropped off at the middle school down the road, and I'd walk down there. I'd go into this very empty house, and I'd wait for my dad to come pick me up. I was here alone for maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours, I want to say. And I had just started high school, so I was like 15. And I was sitting in what was to be my room. And I heard footsteps come like hopping up the stairs. And it was in a fashion that my dad absolutely would climb stairs, because my dad's weird and he'll jump around everywhere. And it was like if he was taking like 2 steps at a time. And I grabbed my things and I got my stuff and I got ready to leave. And I walked out there and nobody was there. And I was like, oh shit, did somebody break into my dad's house and I just happened to be here? I checked the whole house with my binder, thinking that that was going to stop whatever intruder was there. I checked the whole house, nobody was there. And I was like, all right, that was weird. So I went back upstairs and I got my little school issued Chromebook out and I played music. And then I heard, like a little bit later, somebody yell hello. And what I heard my dad say hello. It was the same thing.
Didn't you tell me face in the window or something?
Yeah, that's actually a different thing. This one we're pretty sure. My dad actually wasn't there when he said hello. And that really freaked me out. So I like locked myself in my room. And then a while later, my dad actually showed up and I told him about it. And he's like, Shyla, my dad died downstairs in the room that the stairs ended. So we're pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was my grandpa playing a prank on me, because he absolutely would have done that. Yeah, the other thing about my dad's house, there's like a few. This place was like haunted something awful or something, because it was awful. It was great to like live there, but also if you didn't like creepy things, then maybe you wouldn't like it. But there was this thing out that like he was not allowed inside. I don't know how my dad kept him outside, but he did. We called him the salesman because he was dressed like a door-to-door salesman whenever we saw him. And he would sit there, he'd look in the window like he was trying to see if anybody was home. But the thing was, his favorite window to look in was a second-story window that had absolutely nothing underneath it. And like, anytime he showed up, all of the dogs in the house or cats freaked out. They were like, there is something we do not like outside that window.
Yeah, animals are very attuned to the paranormal.
Yeah. We're pretty sure it was something malicious, because we had to cover the window, like all of the windows in that room, because it was my younger siblings' room. And Vincent has like my little brother has nearly opened the window to let this guy into our house, even though obviously not a guy. But he
Right.
was like really little.
He was just trying to help.
Yeah. Have actually also I'm like seeing the thing. This wasn't an actual man standing outside the the window. There was nothing for him to stand on.
Right.
This was a second story window.
Right.
So the cops would not have helped.
Yeah.
um
Normally, I don't even pay attention to people that come up and talking to somebody that's in the desk because it can get kind of confusing and everything else. So just tell your
yeah.
story.
One morning I woke up in my bed like normal, and I was slow to open my eyes, and I opened them and I was like, oh shit, there was another person in my bed.
In your bed.
And in my bed with me. It was a girl about my age-ish, and I saw less than 2 seconds of her face.
Wow.
But like I remember taking in her features. Freaked me out. I screamed and like flipped over. I'm pretty sure I screamed, "Who the fuck are you?" And then like I turned back around and like nobody was in my bed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There was also just like notes of this house. There was also an organ player in the basement. People have just
or just
no. There was no
organ.
You would hear organ music, but there is no organ in that basement. Was no organ in that basement.
Wow.
We had a curio cabinet that we're positive had a spirit attached to it because it was from my stepmom's stepmom. But she had a very distinct walk because one of her, like the bottom half of her leg was like paralyzed or something. So she had a very distinct step drag. And we have heard her walking around before.
Oh.
Because she doesn't like anything. She doesn't like anything near her curio cabinet.
Well, you shouldn't have messed with it.
It wasn't me.
Likely story. Likely
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. But yeah, that house was super creepy, but also I was in love with it, and I'm really sad that it burned down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, are you coming to Christmas?
Probably.
You good?
Planning on it.
Yeah. I think it's been probably 6-7 months at least since I've seen you.
Yeah. Are we playing the game that I suggested?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know what game we're playing. I know we're not both games. So. Well, Shiloh, I appreciate you coming in.
Of course.
And stick around and hear some other scary stories.
I plan on it. Everybody else is asleep.
Love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. If you didn't realize, that was my stepdaughter. So, all right. I think we had Kelsey come in, AK-47's daughter. Is that correct? Let's see. Kelsey, I'll give you a follow and then. Kelsey wants to join. I sent the invite. Yeah, so anybody that's just come in, we are doing paranormal encounters. If you have one and would like to tell your story, leave a comment down here. My mods will let me know that you're wanting to come in. Kelsey, did Kelsey leave? Can you guys see if Kelsey's still here? AK-47, is Kelsey still here? It shows her in here. She's here. Let me try sending another invite here. All right, we'll try again. Chris and Samantha, how are you doing tonight? Jules is back. We've got some returners tonight. I like that. I like when we have return guests and return listeners. Kelsey must be shy because she is not accepting my invite. You are accepting it? Try one more time here. Sent like 3 invites. Let me try it from this screen. Okay, that's the 4th invite I've sent. And TikTok has been screwing up lately, so Kelsey, maybe you can try hitting the guest button. See if that'll let you in that way. I'm not sure what's going on here. I followed her. Maybe she needs to follow me. I don't think so, though. But yeah, TikTok has been screwing up. I've noticed there's been a lot of videos about black screens, and I know I've had to shut it down a few times today because it kept lagging really bad. So, Annie, how you doing? Carol, I'm not sure which you come in quite a bit, and I'm not sure whether to call you Carol or Annie. Bug, how you doing, Bug? Kelsey's having some issues here, I think. I really wanted to hear this shadow person story. We've had several in the last couple days. I'd really like to hear another one. So that kind of stuff interests me almost as much as Bigfoot. Sunshine Summer, how you doing? If you have a paranormal story you'd like to share, leave a comment. We will try to get you in. I've been trying to get Kelsey in for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and I sent a follow. I am following Kelsey. I'm not sure. I absolutely don't think you have to be following me, but I appreciate it if you do, to be able to join the lives. Amelia, how you doing tonight? Well, while we wait on Kelsey to see if we can figure that out, if anybody else has a paranormal story they'd like to tell, leave a comment. Make sure you're following me. We do this every Sunday and Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we go until either my voice runs out or our guests run out. One of the two. Or my live just falls off the rails. We descend into chaos, and my mods say, cut it off. Actually, they've never done that, but they have the power. Especially my wife. She has that power. She says we're done. The boss has spoken. That's the way it goes. You know, fellows, back me up. You know what I'm talking about. I really am trying to not make my wife laugh tonight, but she's too nervous. That's fine. Would you like to come in and tell it in her place, AK-47? AK-47. Can I call you something other than AK-47? Is there a name that you go by other than AK-47? That's a lot. AK? Okay. Okay, AK. AK, would you like to come in and tell the story? Oh, did you say sure to coming in and tell the story? Is that what you're saying sure about? Let me grab a drink here. All right, let's get AK in here. What is going on? No, it's not showing you. This is ridiculous. It's not letting me invite you either, AK. I hate to do this, but if we can't get invites to go through, this isn't going to work if invites are not working here. Because when I click on your name, it doesn't have a thing. Okay. AK, can you try and who we got here? Is that you? There we go. Okay. That worked.
Okay.
There we go.
She sent me her story, so I may not tell it exactly the way it happened, but she scared me to death when she was telling me what was going on. The only thing that I could think of what possibly would make sense of what was going on is that she has an allergy to antibiotics. She's really bad allergic to penicillin, and I thought maybe she was having some kind of a reaction to her antibiotics is the only thing I could think to make sense. So anyway, her and her boyfriend were asleep and she woke up and there was, I'm going to call it a shadow man, but a black shadow standing in the corner of the bedroom. And let's just put it this way, her boyfriend's always ready to have an intruder in a bedroom, so he'd be ready to go. I'll put it that way. And she woke him up and then it disappeared when she was trying to wake him up. And then they fell back asleep again. And when she woke up and saw the shadow man again, he was charging the bed, coming really fast, like toward the bed. When she was telling me the story, I was like, what the fudge? That is so scary. Oh my God. Did I tell it right, Kelsey?
So I'm hearing a theme here that these things darker than dark, so blacker than dark.
Yeah. It was dark in there, but it was blacker than the dark room.
That is freaking terrifying.
I know. And when she told me that it charged the bed, that it came at her really fast and she screamed, then her boyfriend got up and was ready to go. But she said, you missed the part where I screamed at the top of my lungs, because he had fallen back asleep. And when she woke up, it was there again. It was charging the bed really fast, coming at the bed. And then, yeah. And when she let me know what was happening, and then she was going back to her apartment to sleep, then she contacted me and she's like, Mom, this is really scary. I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, maybe you're studying too much. You're not getting enough sleep. I'm looking for something to make a rhyme or reason of this. We're talking about a girl that, goes to church and has wonderful faith and doesn't do crazy shit like most 21-year-olds do, but I was just like, this went on with her for a while.
Yeah, she just commented it went on for 4 nights.
Yeah, I was literally like, when she let me know that was happening, I was like, I will come and just stay with you. I'll sleep at your apartment. I will sleep with you on FaceTime. You know, I will watch over you sleep with
Yeah.
your light on, because, you know, it was starting to scare me too.
So, I heard you bring up about, going to church and things like that. But honestly, these entities, if they're demons or whatever they are, that's the type of people they're going to attack first, because
Right.
they want you to question your faith. So,
And you can't shake our faith.
right.
I mean, like literally, you can't shake our faith, because we know God's bigger than everything. But it was just a really scary time, and she looked it up or something, like the allergy to antibiotics. I think that Kelsey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it was a time when she had a kidney infection. And if you know anything about kidney infections, that can make you, like older people too, they start having like lack of sleep. And I don't know. I'm hoping that's all that was.
And I understand why you're probably hoping for that. And hopefully it hasn't come back since then. But, I know you've been listening. There's been several accounts just in the last 2 days on this show
Yeah.
of these very similar entities, or whatever you want to call them, and they're all being described the exact same way. And I don't think Moody or anybody else was going through a kidney infection at the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, and just because it happened doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen. But I wouldn't lean too heavily on the antibiotics thing. I mean, that's whew, that is terrifying.
It scared me when she told me it charged the bed. I was like, OMG. Yeah.
So my wife asked, "Could you see anything when the lights came on, or was it just while the lights were off?" And she's asking Kelsey that. Okay. Oh, so it looked blurry. Okay. Oh wow, that's crazy. I don't even know what to say on this, because this thing is.
Yeah, I'm
Everybody
dude, giving me the creeps freaking talking about it.
Yeah. But everybody that's describing it is describing basically this thing, this blacker than dark, blacker than black, whatever you want to call it, and along the walls, on the ceilings. That is terrifying.
Good Lord, I'm sleeping with the freaking lights on. That's all I know. Shoot.
Kelsey, something about hearing voices yelling for help.
Oh, so one time, I think this is what she was talking about. I heard someone yell for help, and she did too. And neither of us yelled for help. And the windows weren't open or anything. It was cold. But I have really high ceilings in my house. So you can, and it's an open concept. And she thought it was me yelling help. I thought it was her that yelled for help. And she steps out onto the balcony, and it was neither of us that yelled for help.
Oh wow!
I'm like, what do you want? Or what's wrong? What do you want? And she was like, oh my gosh, I thought that was you. And we both heard it. And I was like, dude, that was not me. And it wasn't her. We're the only ones here.
So, this isn't the same house though, right?
Yeah, it's the house I live in. No, you thought I was saying mom. There was a time too. I heard someone yell mom, and I thought it was her. She was in the bathtub, and she would lay in the bathtub for like an hour or 2 hours and put more hot water in there and just lounge up there. So, or she had the door shut, but also we have a laundry chute that goes from the bathroom upstairs to the second floor. And I thought, it sounded like she yelled mom and it echoed down from the laundry chute. So then I'm yelling up there, what do you want? I walked into the laundry room and I said, what do you want? And she said, I didn't say anything. And she did yell mom, and it wasn't her.
Wow.
It was
the history on the house.
The history on the house, the original house that was here was probably built by the couple that lived here and had no kids. And the husband passed away. William, his name was William, and her name was Mildred. And anyway, he passed away, and she lived like 7 more years. And then when we moved back home to this area after Mildred passed away, the house went up for auction and we bought it. But we tore down and rebuilt, keeping just the walkout basement. So the other 2 stories, it's a 3-story, but it's, you can hear good in here because it echoes if you're upstairs or on the second floor. So, and it's just been Kelsey and I here for years, but it was really scary. We were both like, you just feel paralyzed, like, how did we both just hear the same thing? And I heard it come from the bathroom like it came down the laundry chute.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring up that the house was tore down and you added on to it, because they say a lot of times things like that do spark paranormal events.
Yeah.
You mess with the original building, and maybe the original owners weren't too happy about that.
I don't know. My son will swear to God that this place is haunted. He swears. I am by myself all the time. I am not afraid. Like I have felt completely at peace. I have not been like afraid. Now, if I had a ghost man freaking rush my bed, I would be like, we are selling this place. We are done, because I would not tolerate that. But
it's okay.
This had some weird things happen. What was that?
It says it just happened to your daughter. It's fine.
Yeah, as long as it happens to Kelsey and it's not happening when she's here, then we're good.
Well, AK, I appreciate you coming in and telling your stories tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was a chicken. But that's okay. We still stay and watch.
Yep. I'll listen in.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you kick me out, because I don't know how to get out of here?
I can do that.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. This has been a pretty good live. We've had several in a row now. I had one a couple weeks ago. Man, that was rough. It was just me talking to myself the whole time. Thank you, April. Did I follow you? Let me make sure I've got you followed. There, I got you followed back. anybody who comments during my live, after the live's over, I go back through and I follow anybody that leaves a comment, unless it's, spam or something like that. And if you follow me, I will follow you back. Like I said, I do these every Sunday and Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And I think it's growing a little bit, and I like that. I like seeing the same people coming in, and I see that they sit and watch for a while. Makes my heart feel good. I feel loved. But if you're not really into the paranormal, but you like to laugh, I do comedy videos. Nobody's forcing you, Laura. Nobody's forcing you. You're the one with the taser. You're my enforcer. Oh, well, see, if you go to my YouTube channel, which I encourage everybody to do, because if the band comes through, I know I said doo-doo. Mm-hmm. We're like 12-year-olds in here sometime, and that's fine with me, because that's a mentality I have half the time. But I encourage everybody to go to my YouTube channel. I don't know, not everybody's aware of this, but there was a thing going back and forth. What? Yeah, I lost your channel. Yeah. Anyway, there was a bill that passed through current president, current House, and current Senate, that TikTok may be shut down as of, I think it's January 15th in the United States. So for me to continue to do this, I need another platform to go live. I need some more followers on YouTube. I need 50 total, about halfway there. I hadn't done much with my YouTube until I started doing this paranormal live, and I'm like, I really like doing this. Don't want to lose it. So if you go to my my profile on TikTok, click the link for my YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I would much appreciate it. I'm going to I've started downloading all my lives that I've done, and it takes a while. I'm going to start uploading those to YouTube so you guys can go back and watch all of them, see all the guests. The only thing I might do is edit out. There's a couple times where some private information of mine was shared on these lives. I don't care that a lot, some people know who I am, but I just don't want everybody knowing my personal life. So I may edit some of that out, but for the most part, it's going to be uncut. You're going to hear it exactly how it was on the live. So be looking for that. Hopefully by this weekend, I'll get everything uploaded onto. Well, you weren't specific about your location. I usually just try to find out what state, just so we have a general idea. Like I don't mind saying that I'm in Indiana, that I grew up in Ohio, but when I start talking about the towns that I've lived in and stuff like that, I just don't want that out there for everybody. Never know. Look, I see the cougars that come in here. I know that they love the mullet. I take a chance every time I wear it into public. I can bring a cougar home, and Becca's going to get all mad, and it's be like, she just followed me home, Becca. What am I supposed to do? I got cougs. Like Laura's one of my cougs. Like I said, if you haven't watched any of my videos, it deals a lot with cougar hunting and whatever. If you do go to my YouTube channel, you will see some of my older videos. Not as good as my new stuff. I don't think it is. There's some really good content there, but the video quality isn't all that great. Audio quality isn't all that great. And I was just learning how to do this stuff. But you'll see some decent videos. I don't think they're my best, but they're decent. I've started uploading them on there too. They'll be in the playlist called The Original Story. And then I have all my new stuff on there too. So I think we're going to end this tonight. Unless somebody has another paranormal encounter they would like to tell before I my mods, they get along, and that's unusual for cougars. A lot of times cougars are really jealous and territorial, but I happen to find one. Thank you for the peppers. Appreciate that, Moody. I lost my train of thought. It's getting late. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning because I do work. This isn't my job, Moody just gave me like 8 cents. So, I can't live off that. So I do have to have a full-time job. And I'm not begging for net. That kind of sounded bad. I appreciate the gifts. Don't take that as I wasn't appreciative of that at all. I am. But they're not expected. But I do appreciate them. I thought about saving up every gift that I get. And once I get enough, which is going to take a while, do a live. I'd have to rent out the Randolph County Infirmary again and do a paranormal live from the infirmary just all night long. But that's going to take a while. We'll see what happens. But that's where your gifts are going right now. So if anybody has anything before I log off here, yeah, I do also have some paranormal videos on another account. If you look up ghosts and stuff paranormal and look up Randolph County Infirmary or Asylum. Maybe I'll do a little quick video so everybody sees that, where to look up. We had some pretty interesting stuff happen at the Randolph County Infirmary. And that's when I became a believer. Yeah. We had, I had a rock thrown at me. Got all kinds of EVPs. Guy had an out-of-body experience. My wife left at like midnight. Yeah. Winchester, Indiana. It's down around Richmond. Becca was not there when the rock got thrown at me, so it wasn't Becca. Actually, there was only 5 people in the asylum at that point, and they were all accounted for on camera when it happened. So, and you can see those in my videos. I'll figure out a way to post a video or post that link. So if anybody has anything else, mods, are we ready to shut this down for tonight? Becca is making notes right now. She's a note taker. She's a freak in the sheets. Spreadsheets, that is. She loves her spreadsheets. I'm going to get her. I'm going to get her at some point. She will snort on my live. All right, everybody. Have a good night. We'll do this again next Sunday, 7 p.m. That's right. Make sure you get that toilet seat locked down. No more haunted toilets for April. And keep your lights on at AK because you got a shadow man. Good night, everybody.